MacDonald for our usual Sunday evening show at 7:15 p.m. Here live from the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon. We have a live audience tonight. It's a little bit earlier, so more people will be coming in. We're here with Jennifer and Ray, and tonight we're going to be answering your questions. I know tonight is Super Bowl night, so I'm not sure how many people we're going to have coming on, but those of you who might be boycotting the Super Bowl or on the side of the truckers, the Canadian truckers and the truckers for freedom, those of you might come here and be on the show tonight. So thanks for coming. And tonight we were just going to answer your questions, and if not a lot of people come, then we'll be doing less time, less here for the show tonight. And that's all good, because who doesn't need a little break once in a while, right? But I'm going to put it out there for all the best people to come, the best show, the best of everything we need. God's honest truth from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. I think tonight is the Super Bowl night, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
First question, who's going to win, Lynn?
Hi, I'm seeing some people come up. Hey, everybody, thanks for coming. We were just talking about the Super Bowl and the truckers, and we didn't know who's going to come or who's watching the Super Bowl tonight or what everybody is doing. So, great to see you, everybody. Thanks for coming. I hope you got your questions. I'm just going to do a little sage. It's been a wild day here. And tonight, it's a live talk forum here on Facebook and at the Institute for Christ Consciousness with me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, and Jennifer and Ray. We also have Madeline and Steve in the audience. We have a few more people coming as well. It's been a wild day. These times are just crazy times. So I'm going to do a little saging. Sage you guys too. Who doesn't need some sage? All right. So get your questions together, because tonight we're going to start with your questions. I don't think that we have questions from last week. And tonight, as usual, for our Sunday evening show, it's a forum where you can ask anything you want to ask, anything you want to know about, and get the answers from the stars, higher knowing, love energy, God, angels, whatever you would choose to call it. But there is an understanding here that that is what we work with, and that is what this show is about and what we're all about here. Okay, so that said, any questions you guys start? We're going to start there, and then we're going to talk about a little bit later, because today I had an awesome energy session, a craniosacral energy session with Laura Mirabile, who's a practitioner here at our center. Oh, I guess our light ran out of battery here, so we're a little bit in the darkness, but we're going to change that. Thank you, God, for that for us, right? So I had an energy session with Laura Mirabile, who is fantastic, top-of-the-line healer, highest, amazing gifts she really has. Just great stuff. So we're going to talk about what happened during that session. Oh, we got light. Thank you, Ray. Thanks. So universe has returned the light back to us. Thank you, God, right? So we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but for now we're going to start with your questions, and if that doesn't come up with some of the questions, it will, and then we'll talk about what happened in my energy session, because this is really, really amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. And the more we learn about love and God or universe and how things really work, the more we can live our greatest lives. And that's what this is about. Okay, that said, all right, let's start. Hi, Madeline.
Hi.
Do you have any questions today? No? All right. How about you, Steve?
Have some stresses over money, and
all right.
have questions about this cat named Ella. I kind of like the new cat at the new place, and just my new living situation. Any insights you have there? I guess I'm looking for a $5.
Okay, so Steve here in our studio audience is looking for a $5. I don't have all my rings on yet. As usual, par for the course. We've been like crazy energy today. But there's lots of shifts going on in the universe, and Steve would like a $5. He's here in our audience. All right, God, what's the God's honest truth? Best gifts, guidance, wisdom, tools, everything we need across the board from love in the purest form for Steve. God's honest truth. What is going on with Steve? You said there's a cat there?
Cat named Ella, white cat.
Steve has just moved to a new location. He has the person he is rooming with, or that he has a house with. She has a white cat?
White cat named Ella. It's already taken over my heat pack.
Okay, instead of Tucker, right?
Yeah.
All right, there's a white cat there named Ella, who has taken over his heat pack that he keeps warm in his bed, right? Okay, so All right. The thing about a white cat is white cats are higher vibrational. All animals, all pets are higher vibrational. White cat is indicative of super sensitive, high-end God energy, right? White. Whether it's a white cat, a white dog, a white bird, a white car, right? White represents enlightenment. So this is about searching for enlightenment, grabbing enlightenment, reaching for the light, the stars, right? So this cat, Ella, and that's why she's camped out on your heating pad, right? Naturally, white light feels warm. It feels sensitive. It feels good. It feels like, on the sunlight on a hot, sunny day, and you or you have a little bit of chill in the air, and you find a patch of sun, and it's like, you know what I mean? And you stand there for a few minutes, and it feels so good. So this is about, she's laying on the heating pad. She likes the feeling of that. But this is also, the heating pad too, is indicative of the warmth of the light, right? So combining these elements, and this is about helping you to heal, okay? So this cat is literally helping you on your spiritual journey, okay? We had a little bit of a sage riot back there with Steve. He's burning up the carpet.
I can't have that.
Classic for our shopping center. Classic. We're always tearing up things, burning up things. The fire inspector was in here this week, and he's like, "What is all this?" I'm like, "We're here when the fire is here. We're here." I'm like,
maybe that's why the fire marshal keeps coming.
Right. So, anyways, so that's where the energy from the cat comes from. That's what they're telling me that comes with this. For you, the cat is a super lover. It really has taken to you. So this cat is really about helping you to reach a higher space of love, or in your heart space, to transmute energies, and to raise your vibration. Neat, isn't it? Yeah. And the heating pad is about that too. It's about warmth. Do you see what I'm saying? It's about just nurturing, caring, taking care of you. And all of this is that. So this is good. This is good. So what was the next question you had with that? You said there was more to that, like a fiver?
In general, just like prayers for that to be as good as it could be. The lady her birthday is 2/28. I think she was 64 or 65.
I do see a nice relationship developing. I do feel now, and this is not on a personal level. This is on what I'm being guided to tell you. I do feel like you and this woman, because this is your new residence and this is a new relationship, I feel like you will develop a lovely relationship and a lovely friendship. So that feels really good to me. There is also a possibility, and I don't really want to say this to you because there's work to do, as you know, in this area in your soul, just like all of us have work, right? Because you have the Venus in Pisces, if I tell you that there could ever be a relationship, you're going to dive right into that space, you know what I mean? Because that's like your Achilles heel. So at just saying that, I'm not going to go there. Get my point? Okay. I'm not going to go there, but I feel like there is that, but it's not now. Okay. And, do your work on it. Just keep working on it. Let me be free of this. Let me have the best, healthiest friendship, relationship. So you don't go into those spaces and then, create something that is not in the healthiest space of love. Does this make sense to you? Yeah. But for now, it feels like it's going to develop into a good relationship. I get visions of you guys like enjoying television shows or just having this nice time together. You know what I mean? Really nice time together. And so this is a good thing. It feels really good. It feels like you're on the start of the new life, which then brings me to the key. Do you have the key?
Gave it to Maddie.
Why did you give it to Madeline and not me?
Just because she's closest to me. You were in the middle of a show.
Okay. Can you please give the key back to him? And can you just bring me the key and hand it to me?
What's that about?
I'm going to tell you all about it in 1 minute. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I got the key, and then I'm going to explain to you what the key is about. The key, all right, is about karmic relationships and doors opening. Okay. Remember, this goes back, and I'm just going to explain this briefly because this is a lot of personal energy between you and me and our whole shop, our center, our lives, and all of this. One time, a long time ago, when you talked to me about a key or the key, that opened a doorway karmically. Okay. But that key could not be given to you because karmically there was work to do and it was not time on you and on me and with this unresolved karma between you and me. Does this make sense to you?
I still don't totally get that, but I know there's a lot of ego in there.
Right. Because egos are about what we want and can have or can't have, and what we should have or what we think we should have.
And what the rest of the world does.
And toxic.
And what the rest of the world does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or your ideas of what the rest of the world does?
Well, my past history with similar situations.
Okay. So like the past, your habits and patterns from the past?
Well, any place I've ever been, I've been given a key very quickly.
Okay. Well, but any place you've ever been never said to you, "Oh, this is about a key in a karmic relationship," right? Yeah. Just saying, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of elements here, right? But I have to keep it in a healthy space because there has to be in this space. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that because this is more personal stuff. Therefore, we can put this over here for our time together when we do an appointment, right? Yeah. And if we choose to go in these spaces. But the reason I needed to ask you for this key, because this key closes the door to that karma. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is an earth world literal transfer of the key, which is about endings of that karma from that lifetime between you and I. Do you see what I'm saying?
Not the way you do, which is typical.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to go back to when you asked me for the key and I couldn't give you that key because there was work to do karmically from a past life when I was your mom and you were the baby and you didn't get to be with me because you were taken away from me, right? So my job, right, in that lifetime was the raising of a child that was a karmic agreement that I didn't get to do. Do you see what I'm saying? So now in this lifetime, this karma was related to that. When you opened that door by asking me for the key, that was an adult relationship. You can't have the key unless you are responsible in that space in so many different ways. You see what I'm saying? Or so much karma is fulfilled. Does that make sense to you?
It does now.
Yes. So they said to me today and yesterday, they told me the whole story about the conclusion of this so that I could get the key from you because this was what I needed to do, right? And they said to me subconsciously, you didn't leave the key on the table because you weren't ready for that. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, because you have to process it out. And even after this, I feel like there's going to be processing for days to come.
The button. It was like, golly, man, the doors barely hit me in the button. You're looking for that key already. It just seemed like
right.
Whatever. It was a button, that's all I'll say.
Right, so it pressed a button in your soul of toxic. Yeah. Right, but really that's not even what that was about, but yet it was because that's an area to go to for your own healing, right, with us. And we'll clear all that when we're working on this as well, okay? So that said, this key came in and I was told that I needed to get the key from you to end this chapter in this karma because this now is complete. That doorway, you opened it by asking for the key, and in literal earth world, I closed it by getting the key to my house. Do you see what I'm saying? Neat shit, because my house is my home, my security, and so all of this goes together, right? Because this was a home we had, and this chapter is now over. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is about closing those doorways metaphysically and physically in earth world. That's why you had to ask me for the key, and I had to literally get the key back from you. But then you got tweaked in an earth world belief system. Why does she need this? Or I tweaked your stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like when you say when people get upset about stuff, it's unwell egos and emotions and things that are attached to that, right? So that's why things would tweak us out, really, in this and with all of this. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, you sound you
well,
look a little.
Well, I know I don't get it at the level you get it, and I typically have to sit with stuff for a while.
All right.
Get it at a higher level over time.
Right, but in each one of us has different levels at different spaces, at different vibrations of how we process information. But I wanted to share that with you and give everybody here too the understanding that some metaphysical. In other words, what is Piscean or governor of universal law that is metaphysical in earth world, right? Piscean, right? That and Saturnian earth world universal law, Saturn, all right, governs Earth world. And since we are in Earth world dimension, it is a balance of those two things. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why it had to be done. You physically, verbally said this, but it was really talking about having something, right? Opening the door to having something, and then literally returning it to me in Earth world is the completion of it for lifetimes. So this is why I had to get the key from you. This had to be done for all of us to move forward into our new destinies, our new dreams, our new lives. Does that make sense to you?
Not the way it does to you.
Yeah.
I'll just get more over time.
Yeah. And in time, right. And if you have more questions about it, ask. Yeah. All right. So that said, I wanted to tell you that because that was super important. I feel really good about the lady in your house as well. Yeah. Okay. And this is also the doorway into the new Steve, the new future. By letting go of this and closing that door and giving us the key, now you can move forward with this. Do you see? Yeah. So it doesn't mean that there isn't going to be challenges. It doesn't mean that everything's done, right? Or whatever. It's whatever you perceive it to be, but the old ways of what were are complete now. Karmically, this lifetime that we had, where we had all that stuff going on, is now healed, is complete.
Thank you, God.
Yeah. In terms of this relationship with you and I. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I had a karmic agreement. So just to let you guys know, I had a karmic agreement that I was supposed to raise this baby in the moment that you were taken from me. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that was in that life. What year was that life? Anyone know? What is it? Nicholas Tsar?
1917.
1917?
It was right before World War I think.
Yeah, it was like 1917 Russia. Yeah. So when that happened, it was so devastating, and that's the emotional disconnect. And in order to fill that void, because I'm not supposed to have those same emotions for you now, here in Earth world, I'm not supposed to have, this is my baby or this is my child emotions where I should nurture you and take care of you. I'm supposed to have a different relationship with you because you're an adult. Do you see what I'm saying? So all of these things had to be changed, right? And it processed out in this way to complete the karma. But the reason I had the disconnect from you is because, A, I didn't get the opportunity to raise you in that lifetime. Do you see what I'm saying? And in that moment, it was so devastating that we made a soul energetic agreement to have this karma that was filled in this lifetime here. Do you see what I'm saying? And that has everything to do with the keys here and all that's going on. Wild shit, right? So now I don't feel that disconnect from you that I was feeling in the same way. Like I have this incredible, amazing love for my children in this lifetime and other children that I was able to birth and raise or take care of and have a life with, right? Anytime we have those things, we have a more fulfilling, healthy relationship. Again, it depends on the relationship, but we didn't get to have that. I was the mother and you were the child, and the czar stole you from me, kind of thing. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, therefore, my soul disconnected from that because it's too painful emotionally. But in that moment, my subconscious soul with your soul has an agreement. And that was it. And this is what this was. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's complex. And there's other things going on here between you and me as well, from lifetimes as well. And in all these energies and with all of us, because the whole group here was part of all that. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole group that works at or is part of our shopping center, all the people who are in our intimate personal group, which you guys are becoming, okay? We all have those relationships and different variations of it, just like issues with you and Sophia, or you and Ray, or you and Madeline, or you and Jennifer. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's complex, but this is what they showed me so that we can move forward in our lives. Really wicked cool stuff, right?
Yeah, I just had a big aha.
Good. Do you want to share? Steve had a big aha.
My issues with Ray and Jen would have been that they would both have had a responsibility to discipline me, and I don't like discipline.
Oh, yeah. But Jennifer, who was your mom in that lifetime, was a fucking nut job, right? I love Jennifer, but she was. And if you're crazy, it's very difficult to get what you need from that mother. So you're at another deficit yet again. Do you see what I'm saying? And then the oldest daughter who raised you, right, which is Ray, right, she, right, is now an adult child, basically, or an older child, having to raise a baby that's not really her baby. So there's going to be resentments across the board from everybody. You know what I mean? Usually, especially with this situation, which is
And the same
has
thing
a lot of
happened-
toxic in it and crazy stuff. Yeah.
I feel like the same thing happened in this lifetime. My sister Julie had a responsibility to raise me when she was a kid.
Yeah, and did you hear that, guys? Steve just said, my sister Julie had a responsibility to raise me when I was a kid, too, in this lifetime. So this is how you know these things are the God's honest truth, because the universe will literally show you the same things over and over happening in your life today to give you the gifts of the wisdom of what's going on in here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so that said, anything else with your 5-minute reading?
We're already over 5, but the last thing is
Yeah.
just because it was an expensive, first last deposit, truck broke, paying someone to move me in, all those kinds of things. So thank God for abundance coming in quickly.
Yeah. Well, and what's wild though is your soul has already created other people to help you out now. Do you see? This doctor helping you when your truck wasn't working well. What ended up being wrong with the truck? By chance?
A belt and a tensioner.
Huh?
A belt and a tensioner that keeps the belt tight.
Okay, did Harold or somebody else came
No,
and
I
helped
called
you?
Harold. He said he'd call me right back, and he never called me back. And I called a mobile mechanic that came out and fixed me.
Yeah, Harold, God bless him, is having some.
I think he's getting to that.
Yeah, and it's okay, and it's okay. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like he's having some mental deficits, and while we love him, this is just something we need to know, because when we're relying on people and they're not well mentally, right? They can't do the things that they used to be able to do before. So just FYI, and that's also why that happened. But you need to know the truth about what was going on with Harold too, and we're going to send him love and angels because we love him and we want good things for him. But this is the truth of the evolution of the path that Harold has chosen for his soul, and that's okay. But it's important for you to know, not to be nasty, toxic, or unwell with his health stuff, but to know so you know how to address all of this from love. Do you know what I mean? Yep. Yeah, and ask love, right? So the doctor came in because your soul is already creating people to help and assist you. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And you have another new family there now with your job and everything. It's just fucking great. Yeah. So this feels like really good to me. Really good to me. And then you go from there. So, and they're also telling me to tell you that, my energy session today is very much what you got going on, some of that. And everybody here too, fear. Is that Debbie Akers there?
Yeah.
Hi, Debbie. I see your big sticker. She's got a big sticker here on the internet. So does this make sense to you? Yeah, now it's all coming together? Yeah. Well, more stuff coming together for you, too. Okay, that said, you good then?
Yep, thank you.
All right, who else? Who's next? Soph, you got anything in our audience?
Maybe.
Shoot.
I feel like lately I've been kind of a mess. I've been thinking about a lot of things, but lately I've been really thinking about going to Hawaii. So I wanted to know if there's anything that you guessed why I feel like going there.
There is something about your Sagittarian energy that is, Sag is in your rising, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have Sagittarian rising sign in your energy, and there's some kind of connection with the Sagittarian energy and wanting to experience a whole. Hawaii comes in for you because it's almost like you can go. It's like almost going to a different country, but not really because it's so far away. It would kind of be like the same thing as Alaska. Do you see what I'm saying? So Sophia's in our audience, and what she's asking today, I don't know if you guys heard, she's saying she's been having a lot of stuff come in. She's trying to figure out where she wants to go with her life, right? What she wants to do, and she wants to travel and go visit Hawaii. So this, right, this energy about Hawaii, this is what she feels called to. So this is coming in with her Sagittarian rising energy. So why? Because it's like you want to experience new lands, new culture, and Hawaii is an island, has a culture of its own, even though it's part of the United States, right? It still has its own energy, its own spiritual beliefs, a lot of really cool things there, beautiful jungle, beautiful land, and it's very, very different from here where you've been like the majority of your life, other than, traveling here and there, every so often, you know what I'm saying? But this is about a big leap in your soul. Your soul wants to take a big leap and like seriously explore and visit someplace that is like almost like totally removed, like a whole nother country, a whole nother culture, and it does feel really good for you. Now here's the wrench that I'm going to throw in there. There's something about you going with your dad. So, which I was like, whoa, I'm like, stop it. But FYI, that's what came in. Interesting enough, right? Yeah. Doesn't mean you have to love it. Doesn't mean you have to drink it. It's okay. Sit with it, talk to spirit, talk to God. So this is just a possibility. 23 to 27% comes in with that. It may be because of what's coming and some healing energy that's coming with everything that's happening on the planet. But it also feels like the reason why you would pick Hawaii is because you could go to other countries in the world, but because of the shot mandates and the chaos and the crazy in the world, it's not exactly the wisest choice in this particular case. Do you see what I'm saying? Or, so to speak, the wisest choice for you. That's right. Okay?
Yeah, and it's so crazy because I know that you're right on. Because I thought that too. It's kind of like the farthest away I can get without leaving the country.
Yeah, and Alaska right now, I don't know, but what I feel like is Hawaii and Alaska are very much similar in restrictions. And Alaska is too fucking cold right now. Like if you were to go to Alaska, you'd want to go like in at least June. Do you know what I'm saying? I think June is a good time to go and visit up there. Hawaii has more. You might want to check into when it's really baking there. I don't know the climates and stuff, but I'm assuming you're looking up all this and talking to God about it, right? Yeah, good for you. Good for you. I hope everybody can hear me. Could somebody just let me know if you can hear us when we have audience questions, because I want to make sure everybody can understand, so you get the whole scope of knowing what's going on, the whole entire question. Okay, so that said, who's next? You good, Soph? Good. All right, who's next?
Debbie Akers.
Debbie. Hey, girl.
She wrote, "Hi, Lynn. I've been on 2 antidepressants for many years. My last refill was only for 30 days instead of 90. I didn't pay any attention at the time until I requested a refill, which they said I couldn't get until the middle of March. The records show that they gave me a 90-day refill. I have not been on the medication for the past 2 weeks. I feel that this was an intervention from the universe. I have felt so much better, clear-headed, and getting more stuff done. I am thinking that I'm not going to refill. What are your thoughts?"
I feel like you're right on, Deb. I feel like you're absolutely feeling this. I do feel that if you can't get the refill till March, I do feel you should use some other stuff to assist you. And when I say assist you, this is like in case you have like an emotional moment, let's say a panic attack, or, just to give you an example, not saying you literally have those, right? But what I am saying is in case you have any kind of an emotional crisis, just like when I used to have cigarettes, and this is why I suggest you refill it when you can. But it doesn't mean that you have to take it, but they're usually, is a way to, or the wisest way, or healthiest way to wean yourself off of antidepressants. Now, if you're on multiple ones, the other ones may help to suffice that, in other words, balance that out, so that if you go cold turkey, because it's not really recommended, and for the most part, I agree with that. There is exceptions to every rule here. If you're doing great and you're doing well, fantastic. But I would also get it filled, because it kind of like goes back to when I used to smoke cigarettes way back when, right? And when I quit, I would just carry around a pack of cigarettes so that if I needed them, they were there, but that would help me. Just the thought of knowing that I could have one if I needed one allowed me to just keep it over there and let go of it. Sometimes that works for people, right? And that was one of the things that I liked in the beginning when I quit smoking. It was just like kind of like a little bit of a crutch that helps people, you know, without having to smoke the cigarette. So that's why I'm telling you to, you know, it feels like you should get the antidepressant anyways. If you need it, you can always put it in your shelf. You don't have to take it. And also look for alternative stuff in the meantime. Your cell salts, your vitamins, your minerals, your herbs, your diet, all these things play a role here in the antidepressants and your medicine and your health, your natural medicine, all medicine, right? And your best health. All these things play a role here. So that's what universe is guiding me to tell you. I think you're doing fantastic. Let me just see here, but look into other options. And, you know, if I see you this week, we'll talk about it too. If you're coming to any classes here at the shopping center, right? You know, or you can PM me for you know, more personal stuff. You know, answers to what comes in for you, but you can use lavender oil, I'm sure you know, and your diffuser. You could use bergamot as well. Tangerine comes in to pick up for energy. Tangerine, get energy. It's a beautiful oil. And these are Young Living essential oils, or you could do doTERRA. All right, those are two high-end, higher vibrational oils, right? So those would come in diffusers, and that you could apply topically as well. That would be really good in case you're having, you know, I don't want to say like a breakdown, or a moment, you know what I mean? We all have moments, right? So those things come in for you as you go down this path. I do feel like you're right on. I do feel you're listening to your intuition. I do feel it's time for you to move on from this. If you feel called for it, absolutely. Because we never want to be on long-term meds if we can help it. We want to find natural solutions and the best ways to heal ourselves with God or love. So this is what comes in. Any questions in reference to this? Anything else for Debbie? No, just remember that everything that you eat plays a role here in terms of your emotions as well, right? Just like with the mold sickness, right? The mold sickness comes in so many different forms depending on where people's weaknesses are. Mold sickness can make you mentally fucking nuts, right? Or sick or depressed mentally, you know, severe anxiety, severe fears, right? You can't think straight, right? Like almost like a dementia thing, right? So these are some things to remember, that when we eat things, you know, depending on what we're eating, like pastas and wheats, and they can cause brain fog. They can cause like literal flu symptoms if we have other stuff and other toxins going on in us, and we're not realizing it. So these two will affect your depression. Like if you eat a lot of sweets and then you get sad, you know what I mean? Or you get wound up for an hour or so, and then you get like, you crash, right? Or you get sad or teary-eyed, right? So this is why I'm telling you this, so that you can be aware. It doesn't mean you have to like, you know, like be, what is the word, like stoic in this. It just means be aware and start going in this direction, right? And your soul, like what just happened, will lead you there. So yes, I totally feel like this is a great time for you, and good things are going to come from this, and good for you for following your heart. Love you, Deb. All right, who's next?
Teresa Courtney Lloyd is asking if there's any messages from the universe for her.
All right, Teresa Courtney Lloyd. Any messages from the universe? Teresa, are you doing anything with your healing abilities? Are you looking to do any kind of schooling, or, you know, not that you need like schooling. I don't really like to use that word because it sends sometimes the wrong vibe of being in a less than space, and that's really not what's going on here. When I say schooling, a better word is exploring different healing modalities from the universe. This is coming in for you really strong to explore different healing modalities, plants, herbs. You could do books. You could take classes. There are local centers around where you are. You could do that. You could do online courses. These things are coming in for you with your healing gifts, because they're telling me you are a super, super powerful healer. I feel like you already do your own things, but I feel what they're telling me is that you tap into these energies. It's kind of like the key experience, right? I talked about the key in the very beginning and how that works. The gentleman asked me about the key, and I needed to open one metaphysical door, and I needed a physical earth world key to close it, right? This is what this is about, because everything in earth world and metaphysical goes hand in hand. So some growth, and some learning and some metaphysical gifts always will open up vice versa with each other, with earth world and with metaphysical, right? Just like the key and asking for the key. There was two different ways of doing that, which opened doorways. So why I'm telling you this is because then you could go to, let's say, some classes. You may go to an herbs class, a class for herbs, and you may walk in and then all of a sudden get flooded with all kinds of past life stuff that you had from ancient history in China during Confucius times. And this is no accident that this is coming in for you, okay? So, and what happens is, by walking through that doorway in Earthworld, you open up this doorway in your soul. Really neat shit, right? So this is what's coming in for you. So start looking for these things. It doesn't mean you have to physically go there and be there. Sometimes you will, but your soul will tell you so, and when to do that by calling it in, right? So being in your heart, calling it in. Your soul will be like, oh, something will pop up on your phone or over here on the TV, and you'll be like, oh, I should really do that, or on the internet, right? And then that's your soul saying, hey, you need to go to this, right? You need to go to this. So, and listen to that. Listen to that, because it's guiding you. And now more than ever, we must be in our hearts and be guided from our souls, because that's how we're going to go. And I hate to use the words get through, but these are our greatest tools for our future journey, for what's coming. You know what I mean? Working with God, working with love, working with universe. Right? Sorry about that. Dropping my ring. Transformation. All right. So that's what's coming in for you. Really focus on this, and this is coming from your guides. It's like you have 3 guides, and they're like the 3 musketeers, and also, on the other side of that note, the 3 wise men. Cool shit. 3 wise men. Like, remember I told you about that Christ energy? Did you get any of that coming in yet? Because this is why you're getting the 3 wise men, because, again, you're being repetitively told by universe that you're high-end Christ energy, high-end Christ consciousness, right? So, and 3 wise men. Are you fucking kidding me? Your guides are like the 3 wise men. That's really cool, right? It's not unlike me today, right? I was like, Ray, do you have this essential oil? I was asking her for a particular essential oil, and it was frankincense, right? What were the gifts that they gave to when they went to see the Christ baby? Was it frankincense and myrrh and
gold? I think.
And gold, yeah. Right? I believe that's what it was. However, those are all Christ oils, Christ energies for healing, massive healing. And I'm going through massive transformation, and we all are, into our heart spaces, because we can't get into our hearts without doing this work. And we signed on to this as our part of our soul journey on this path, so we could be our greatest selves from love and change not only and live our greatest lives, right? And be human beings with great fucking lives, not just spiritual people and spiritual healers and spiritual teachers, right? But live our greatest lives and change the darkness on this planet to light, right? Get all the best solutions from love, right? So all of this tells you the truth about you and about all of us from love. So these vibrations are changing, so the work has to come in. So the frankincense and myrrh, and I think, was it frankincense that I was using? Yeah, it was fantastic. I needed frankincense, so I've been putting a lot of that on, because that helps for transformation as well. There's also a fantastic Young Living essential oil for transformation too. That I use as a topical as well. I use the frankincense as well. A lot of times you can use a carrier oil. You leaving, Molly?
Yeah, I'm going to be listening on Facebook Live.
Okay, great. I know you got to work, right? Yeah. All right, see you later. Have a great night. Thanks for coming, girl. So, let me just bring me back to this space now, please, God. So the frankincense and myrrh, this is what I was using to help transform and help me through this healing journey, my own personal healing journey. As you guys know, I'm sharing all of it with you whenever I can, guided by higher knowing God, love, energy, right? So we all can understand these things better as we go down this path and into the new world, and so that you can take these gifts as well and work with them for your healing gifts and your healing abilities and your best journey here. It doesn't mean you become me. It means it's just guidance from love energy that is God, universe, right, in the purest form to help everybody be their greatest selves and have their greatest lives. All right, from love. Okay, that said, anything else for Teresa? Moon cycles. Moon cycles comes in for you. I don't know if I've told you this before. I feel like I have, but definitely look into that as an avenue too, because moon cycles comes in again for your best healing as well. Okay. All right. So who's next? And did I forget anything with Teresa? I was in the zone, and Molly interrupted the energy a little bit. Is there anything else? If there is, bring it back to us now, please, God, from love in the purest form, and thank you, God, for that for us. Okay, go ahead. Who's next?
Well, Teresa Courtney Lloyd said reservations have been made.
Oh, yay! All right, girl, I'm psyched. I'm super stoked. So I'm excited. So Teresa is going to come visit our shopping center, I think, in the spring, and we're super stoked. She's going to come to a live show, and you all are invited, right, to be here live with us. It'd be awesome, and then you can come and see everything we do, and you can also work with our really great practitioners, like I was talking about Laura. Steve is fantastic, equally as fantastic as well. Depends on what your soul calls in for you, right? And you guys all know what I do, and if you don't, you can ask. You can go on my Facebook page. It's like you get tired of saying the same shit over and over. It's like, yeah, you can go on my Facebook, you can go on our Instagram, you can look at the shopping center, you can watch my YouTubes, because I probably said it about 1,000 times. But I'm super stoked, Teresa, for you to come, and who knows, maybe we'll get to go have dinner, but I don't want to take time from your vacation with your family, and we'll see what happens. It would be great, and I'm excited, and thanks God for it being fucking awesome. Thank you, God, for that for us from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us. All right, so who's next?
Laura Marabli would also like a $5.
Laura, you barely just left here, girl. All right, Laura. They're telling me, I don't want to say it's dire, but they are telling me to get the stuff together, and we'll figure it out, and we'll work it out so we can work on and do the metaphysical work for you and Jacob, right? And this will ultimately work with Tiara too, your kids. This comes in for you. Get your charts together, but the biggest problem or issue that we have here, Laura, is the time. So I'm going to ask God to make the time for us to do this work, because it's really incredibly important for your best healing, and for theirs as well. This will create less challenges across the board, always. And this is for all of us when we do the metaphysical work, always. So this comes in as being like a really big, important priority. So this said, just note that and log that. I know you're such an amazing, loving soul, and like you and me and all of us, we have all this karma, and you're really caring for your grandmother and your mother, and you have all these challenges and your family challenges, right? And you're balancing so many energies, and then everyone else out there that we have to deal with in our realities. The shit storms of our personal stuff coming in, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So, but they're telling me we got to prioritize, give you a plan, have the best outcome, the best gifts and tools from love, so we can make this happen. And thank you, God, for that for us, from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is, so that we can get the best plan and have it and do what is best with all of this energy, because it's super important. Because here's why. Jacob has a lot of energies running in him that are not healthy, and there's a lot of the stuff that he has that manifests in the same way as he has with his father. And I think you know that. And so does Tiara. It's just different, right? And while we can say, well, you have those same energies and it's because of you, it is not because of anything. It was part of the grand plan overall, so that Jacob's soul that already had these energies running in with him picked you and his father to address these energies in earth world reality so we can heal him internally and externally. So this isn't about a blame game. This isn't about that at all. While there'll be similar energies in you, and I think it's Jacob Sr., right? But these energies are totally different, right? They can manifest in multiple different ways. And you have such a pure heart, Laura. That's why you're so such an amazing being. You have such a purity of heart in the work that you do, and you're straight up. And you have you definitely have a Capricornian code of ethics here. within your soul, which is beautiful. It's in a healthy space, right? The challenge becomes is when we give too much to other people. So your energy doesn't manifest in the same way as, let's say, his father's does, but it is no doubt a similar energy, right? Because we can't get together and have a child with someone if it is not. So these are some of the energies that we want to nip in the bud. I know you've already had your many challenges with your kids. I think I have two in my journey. When I look at, our children and the new world and the amazing gifts, these are very, very, very gifted old souls. And like we always talk about, you can't have beautiful, amazing children and gifts that they have, or have them in yourself, without manifesting or having done the work in earth world and having some kind of toxic or unwellness come out. It's kind of like the saying, the yin and the yang. But here's what a lot of people don't understand is the toxic can come out, right? You can remove the toxic from you through energy work, in multiple variations, not just how we do this here, or in the energy sessions that you do and the energy sessions that I do or Steve does, right? All of us, depending on what you feel called to, who is the best vibrational healer or energy healer for you from love, based in that the space of God or vibration that you're in, is who you will be called to. Same thing with teachers, same thing with doing readings, right? Like today or the other day, we had 2 tarot readers at the shop, 2 amazing ones. It was Sophia and Molly, and we had people come in because we were doing in-person readings, right? And one person got a reading and the other person didn't. It's not because one's better than the other or one's not good enough. It's the energy that the person who walks in the door resonates with, who is the best person for them. You feel in your heart who is best for you. Now, what happens with the energy healers, if they take it personal or not, is a whole nother ball game of our own personal shit that we have to work on. Do you know what I mean? And that's for all of us. So this said, this is just more talking about energies with you and Jacob's father, right? Because there's healing work to do here as well, which is why we're talking about this. But all of this will be between you and Jacob as well, and all intertwined in the energies between you, Jacob, and Tierra, because that's the nature of everything that is God, especially when we have personal relationships from love in our personal families, right? We are intertwined, and anybody that we know in these lifetimes or cross paths, this is about different soul energies crossing, like when they say there's angelic realms, you can be in multiple angelic realms, but there's usually a Archangel Michael, right, is like my primary, right? So you are in that same group, right? But I know that there'll be work with Metatron and Gabrielle and many of the other archangels as well, but usually it is 5, because this is Earth World and this is about bringing that those energies down to Earth World. So these energies will be in people that we just walk by down the street, or people that come into our personal lives, and people that want to get in different, or when I say people, really souls that want to get in different energy groups depending on the vibration that they're in, and it's part of the process of growing within our souls. It's really neat stuff. And again, it's complex, so there's different angelic groups, right? There's different, angelic groups that do different things. Like Archangel is like a warrior group, right? This, and of course that would include rage and being a warrior, Mars energy, Plutonian energy, right? And Christ energy, right? But they all have Christ energy in them. Christ energy is in everything, just like every love energy. What religion has some form, right, of love within it. Whatever religion it is, it has some form of love. It's just all different vibrations of it. In the grand plan of God, you get religion to get love, to learn about love at whatever space of God you're in, right, up to the highest levels, right, Christ levels and beyond in this reality, right? So this is just all part of the grand plan. But if you have, let's say you identify with a religion that is Christ energy, then what happens here is you connect to that because you are that in your soul, right? So what does that mean? Your soul is pure of love in your heart, authentically. Now, whether you're authentically in that space is a whole different fucking story, right? You will know by what the person does. And usually these energies at the point of this in this reality here in present day, now here in earth world, usually at this point of God or love, thanks God for the best words to explain this. When you get to this point, right, the energy that would be toxic, you either bury it in your soul like me, or you have physical things because you understand the repercussions at a high-end God or love energy level of hurting others, right? But also we morph these energies of toxin within ourselves, and they morph into energy that kind of many times will have these challenges. This is why, mentally, physically, because we take this energy that, let's say, is toxin through lifetimes, right? And we... In these high consciousness of Christ energy, this is one of the ways you can tell that it is a Christ energy the person is. There'll be severe addiction, severe mental challenges, severe physical challenges, learning deficits, all kinds of stuff that manifests in this reality, all based in a soul that has gone through so much, right? So much metaphysically through lifetimes, processing, living, being, learning all about love, because you don't get to purity of heart without having these experiences. But at the same time, they can wreak havoc on your physical health here in earth world, right? And as well as, your mental abilities, or you can't cope and you do drugs, or you overeat, or you become an addict, right? Some souls will revert to really wild shit like siren energy, or demon energy, or devil kind of energy, right? Like having multi-personalities and carrying this energy within them, or where they have these energies and they actively live this in earth world. Vampirism, right? Vampirism, being an energy vampire, same thing. So there's all different variations of this. Like people say, well, they think that there isn't realities. You can literally see these behaviors in the people, right? Like a siren is really a sea demon, right? And so the person who has had that experience, right, in an alternate lifetime, in an alternate dimension, right, or believes that they have that, or manifests that within their souls, right, through toxic stuff and belief systems within their souls. It's multiple ways of God that you can get to these spaces in you, right? It's all about what you believe, whether it's truth of God and dimension or not, right? Whatever you believe, right? However, this stuff is real. It's just not in the way that you think in this dimension, right? All right. And it can be in multiple ways based on what your belief systems are, how the energies all manifest in you, right? So I know people like my sister who has unicorn energy, right? And as you know, I always post lions. I have lion energy and Christ energy, right? All right. So these are just some ways, but I also have dragon and prophet energy. There is people that have that I know have that demon, vampire, and or devil energy, right? Satanic energy, right? Who have lived lifetimes and experienced these things and kind of liked having that energy. And what do? They carry that energy back from those experiences in their souls. And then they wonder why they manifest toxic, right? Because it comes from those energies, those belief systems in them, regardless of what anybody else believes out here, right? If this is your reality and you can see it going on in the physical, you have to take a look at that because it's here. It's now. I literally know 3 people who are a siren, a demon, and a vampire right now. When I say a demon, it's not like an entity takes over. It's not like that. It's you literally had a different way of doing an experience, right? Or being in a reality, or processing information, or fucked up belief systems, which would then make you believe that you had a demon in you, right? So then there's an alternate personality. So these things are complex, but we carry these energies. The older the souls, you get more stuff that manifests manifests in you that is all of this. And going back to what I was talking about, right, your soul, to cope, will pull the shit out of internally in you, just like it does with addiction, or Jennifer with her unicorn energy. Sometimes she stomps her foot and does this weird shit like this with her head and shit, and I'll be like, what the fuck, right? Because she's a unicorn. And then she jokes around and laughs, right, and does like this magical stuff, right, because she's running on unicorn energy in her soul. And so you will see this literally in people's behavior, and you can see it manifest in their physical as well, right? Just like I have a lot of Sagittarian energy. That's horse. Sagittarius is half beast, half human. This is part of my gifts that allows me to talk to, right, animals, to listen and hear animals, to know how to help and heal animals, right? Whatever animals they are, right? So these are all part of those energies, right? And I can look at people and I say, well, you know, like one time somebody was sitting, I think it was Steve's ex-wife, right? He was sitting in one of our classes, and she had a pillow behind her, and it came up, and the back of the pillow was one of these white pillows that we have here, right? And it was like behind her, and it had this, it made like wings in the back of her, right? What does that tell me? That she has angelic energy in her, around her, right? And so I asked God about that. I go, look at this. You remember that day we were sitting there and we saw that really cool, those angel wings right on her back? But literally in Earth World, the pillow told me this, right? So people do these things to cope, these kinds of energies. But bringing it back to you, Laura, and all of this is just, there's healing work to do on this, all of this. But we went off in this direction because apparently we were supposed to, guided by higher knowing, to explain things to people so they can understand psychology and why people do the fucked up things that they do, and the process of the soul, and how things truly work, right? And it's super complex. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing. Trey Ryder says, oh, I probably have sloth energy.
That's funny shit. Yeah, like Mars and Cancer, right? That's funny shit. Trey Ryder said that's sloth energy. And that's no joke. You're right, right? I have seen people, and I could put, if I didn't know these people personally, I would put their pictures up because you would just fall off the chair. I've seen maggots, people who are like reincarnated maggot energy. I have seen trolls. I know 2 trolls that are really nasty, and you can tell by the shit that they do and that they claim to be spiritual, but they're nasty, man. And it's just, you know, this energy morphs in a million different ways, right? And like Rachel carries with her fairy princess and queen energy. You meet Rachel, you're going to be like, oh, because Rachel's energy is so fucking lovely, right? And really, that's the truth. Now, Steve wouldn't agree because Steve has other issues going on, right, with Rachel. But those are his personal shit, which is added karma from another lifetime. But again, the older the souls, the more complex it gets, the more layers you have of stuff, right? And this is where, these are the spaces we have to go within our souls, within our charts, and within this reality to heal ourselves in all ways, right? So Laura, I'm telling you this because there's work to be done here. You know it, I know it. We're all going through it in different ways, and that they're also guiding me to tell you that this too shall pass, and we will work on this, and you're a fucking superstar, man, of the highest order. And they're telling me to tell you that. And we love you. Okay? And thank you. Thank you for the great work you did with me and on me today. And you were fantastic, and I'm super grateful. And I'll tell people about that a little bit later because Laura's at her shopping center. She does massage. She does craniosacral. She does Reiki. She does bars, and she teaches. She's fantastic. High in God. High in love energy. Just an amazing healer. All right? So I'm telling you this. So when you come, Teresa Courtney Lloyd, it would be great if you want to come and meet Laura or meet Steve as well. Steve does amazing work, equally as amazing, just in a different way here as well. But moving back to this, this energy, they just wanted me to share that with you, Laura. So because, you know, we are always, souls like us who are high in Christ energy, we constantly, many times more often than not, with these toxic energies, we beat the fuck out of ourselves, right? Internally, especially when we have things like Pisces moons or Scorpio moons or Capricorn moons. The pain from lifetimes is so tough and so difficult and such a void in our heart, you know, that our soul, you know, personally takes everything and says, oh, this is an attack on me, and an attack on me, and attack on me. And as you grow in your first, second, and third houses in your self-love space, right, this too will change. So you got this, Laura. You're a star, and you're gonna bank this blow this right out of the ballpark, right? You're going to win the fucking Super Bowl. Anyways, go ahead, girl. Who's next?
We have Danielle.
Hi, Danielle.
She wrote in saying that on Monday she was reading through an article and it talked about near-death experiences. And then Tuesday morning she received a message from angels to look up death, dying, and transformation and to be prepared. I know we've talked about angel numbers, so she sent some angel numbers. They include 51, 59, 16, and 66. She is asking if she is getting ready to experience a near-death experience or what is going on with these messages.
Well, Danielle, you too. Oh, shit, I'm making a fucking yogurt mess here. Yeah, transformation. All right, I don't think I got it on the carpet. Okay, so Danielle, remember, a near-death experience is a pretty profound thing. They can come from in many different ways, in many different forms. Near-death experiences don't mean that you're necessarily going to have one. I've been telling you for quite some time now that you should be writing, and it behooves you to start, but everything in God's time. I feel this is everything to do with that, and a near-death experience may really start this off for you and rocket it into the space, all right? I don't feel at this time you are necessarily going to literally have that in the way that you think. It could come in through multiple different ways, right? Just an exit point is a point where it brings you right to the edge of a near-death experience. So it depends on how profound and the message that your soul needs to get there, as well as it's infinite. Just like we talked about all these other things, it's fucking infinite. God is infinite, right? Anything and everything is possible with God or love. But there is a law of love energy, of everything that is like a solid, so to speak, right? But there's exceptions to everything, right? So a solid of the way things work in Earthworld, the way things work in Earthworld dimension, the way things work metaphysically, the way things work with Christ energy, the way things work with your soul, the way things work emotionally, the way things work with our people space, with nature, with animals, right? There is a basic general law of how everything works. So when you say to me, Danielle, am I going to have a near-death experience? Right now it's only 27 to 23 to 27 to 36 to 38%. It's mostly 23 to 27%. This is what they're telling me right here, right now, in this moment. But you, in a wilding space, could easily create something like this. Just like we all can get fear or want to have something and create something for whatever the reason based on what we ask God for. Sometimes you'll have to, sometimes your soul, you won't have to do anything, but your soul will call in a near-death experience for you to get to a higher space of enlightenment and to break through those barriers, right? For one person I know, for example, actually a bunch of people, they'll call in a heart attack or a stroke or strokes, right? Or different kind of altering life experiences to rewire everything that is going on in their soul to put them in a higher God space or to change things up, for different understanding, right? So like a mental heart rewiring. Do you see what I'm saying? Mental and heart rewiring or rebalancing, right? Souls will call in this stuff because they can't break through the barriers in Earth world to get to those spaces of higher knowing or changes or tools or gifts or just change in Earth world of things that you need to do that you signed in. Not everybody is going to be, all wrapped up in their metaphysical journey. We each all have different journeys, but we also each have personal lives and other things that we do, and we could be multiple people. Just like, I think since we're talking about sports and Super Bowl, I think there was a guy named Barry Bonds who was a football player, a baseball player, and then another professional athlete, right? So he could be 3 different professional athletes, so you can do multiple things as a soul, right? So, these energies, let me just get back in this space with God. These energies run in all of our souls. Okay, so near-death experience is very much like that. If your soul will pull, anything is possible with God. Your soul can pull in anything and everything based on what it needs and signed on for in this journey. And then your soul's life path, right? The destiny that you have, who you came to be here in this reality and all the stuff, right? Because it's complex, like all that is God. Sometimes it's really simple. Sometimes I may want to, and when I say simple, it could be, I just may want to live, and it doesn't mean that it's simple or easy, right? Because simple and easy are totally, in alignment with people's belief systems, right? I could be just a single woman and I want to remain single all my life, and that's my life's journey, and I want to be a librarian and I want to be studying, but I don't want to be around people, and I just want to live alone and I don't want to have any kids. Well, that's one person's life, right? Another person, they may want to have a family and children. Another person may want to win the Nobel Prize. Another person might want to be in the Super Bowl, right? Or go to the Super Bowl, right? All these things are different facets and things that we manifest in our energy for our journey, for our learning, for our experience, both in earth world and metaphysically. And they go hand in hand, right? For our greatest lives, our greatest journey, our greatest healing. It depends on what your soul calls in. You are exploring this, Danielle, because honestly, in your soul, you are supposed to be writing about these things, exploring these avenues, sharing your wisdom, right? Because you have huge gifts here, right? But that's also one of your biggest challenges, right? Having gifts and actually being able to put them together and write and share them with the world, right? And come out with these gifts. All of these things are different energies. So the question becomes, just like with Saturn, can we do these things in Earth world, right? Just like Mars and Cancer, right? Like Trey said, Trey Ryder said, he says he thinks he's a sloth, right? Well, we know that really isn't true, right? Because I see Trey do his live talks and his own magic that his soul came in here to do, and I see him doing. If he's doing, he's moving in the right direction. That's Mars, right? It's when we have all these gifts and we don't what? Do anything with them, right? So then we have to say, where are these challenges? Yes, Rachel, do you know about that?
No.
Yeah, Rachel's a really gifted writer. She's constantly telling me the stories, fucking all the time. And I'm like this, Rachel, you aren't telling me another fucking story, are you? Because I'm not listening to the story again because it needs to be in writing in your books, right? I'm like, not another boring story, Rachel. No, right? You're welcome, Rachel. I'm just fucking with you. You know that. All right. But, it's the same thing. But everything, again, is a balance of God's time. So what are your dreams? What do you want to make happen? What's blocking you? Again, this is working on your soul, working with God, working with love. All these barriers can be changed, Danielle, by talking to God, asking love to change them, right? Asking love how? And doing the work, looking into your astrology chart, sitting down, clearing out stuff, right? And you know as well as I do, Danielle, you can always text me and we work together, right? So, and this is all part of this journey, right? Ask God for the answers, right? So ask God to do this. So right now, I don't feel like this is in the stars for you, so to speak. There's a propensity for it where the 36 to 38% comes because there's a part of you that wants this. And, but I don't feel like it's, with the nature of free will, you can create anything, and it has to be on one of the paths somewhere of the infinite millions of paths of the energies that you could take in your life, right? But it doesn't feel like when I get in those spaces, it's like out here. So it's like out here when you think of yourself as like your life path as being a tree, right? You have all these branches, and then those branches have all these branches, and then the stuff that's really, really far away is the leaf stuff that's likely to manifest. But, our souls are magic, all right? They're full of love in our hearts, and our hearts can do anything, and they're all connected to God, and they are the purest form of love energy that is God, right? And the higher the consciousness, the more magic you are, the more you're in your heart you are, and the more you have these gifts. So you could take anything you want and pull it off of that tree, and create it to happen, and that's where the 36 to 38% rest of that comes in. So as a standby, it's 23 to 27. I feel right now, and it fluctuates just like everything that is God, depending on everything else that's going on in any given moment and what you decide with free will. It's really a magical formula, and it's infinite, incredible stuff. So Danielle, I don't feel like it's going to be literal in the way that you think. But it doesn't mean that you can't create it. But at this time, that's not what's going to happen. Really, you should be writing. It behooves you. You don't have to do anything. However, if you go 3 years from now, you're still asking me about the same shit and you haven't done anything with it, then you have to say, okay, I have some issues here. I need to change what's going on with me so I can make big changes so I can really live my life, right? Because these things then, that tells me you're having blocks, right? So, and 3 years is a nice window to give you of the time to do it, right? But again, everything in God's time, right? For me to ask God to be this level of teacher and healer that I am now, this was 20 fucking years ago. And I had to do a lot of fucking work on that. And it's right in the stars, the north and south node. And this is for all of us. Our karma, right, is all designed in that. Every 20 years, a karmic thing, right? But we also have so much other karma tied up all throughout our charts as well. But the stories of everything and all that is in everything that we are. And by our actions here in Earth World, that's the first way that we can see what's working for us and what's not. I used to have a girlfriend, and both me and her way back in the day, we had two little girls, right? I was a single mom, or married to somebody, and when we were in the process of getting a divorce, and so was she. Do you know that this is when I was in my 30s, and she might have been a few years younger than me. She might have been like 30, 20, I think about 30. I think she was about 4 years younger than me. And our kids became friends, and we went to childcare together, right? However, the reason I'm telling you this story is because our lives that we had were intertwined, and this totally relates to the time frame that we do certain things, right? So I ended up getting a divorce from my husband, and it was done in like a maximum of like, I want to say 2 to 3 years. And after it was like 15 months was the time of waiting with the courts here in Virginia when you had children. And then right away, within 2 to 3 year frame, I was divorced from my first husband, right? Because that was what was happening in the time frame. But during this time, she too was going through a divorce, and our kids knew each other, and we were very good friends at the time. And today, even now, I don't think she's divorced. This is like 20 fucking years ago, right? This is big shit. And some people say, well, I stayed with him so I could get the insurance so he could still pay for me, and blah, 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 and all these reasons about why we don't do what we do, right? And I understand that as well, all right? But when you sit on something and you don't move forward in your life, you have to say to yourself, this is something that I need to look at so I can live my greatest life, especially with your dreams, right? If you want to write a book and 20 years goes by and you still haven't fucking written that book, you better sit down and talk to God about it. Hey, why hasn't this happened? But sometimes it's God's time, and that's okay. But this is why we talk to God or universe or love all the time, to get the God's honest truth and the answers. It may not be time. We may be waiting for the world to fall apart, right? Or something over here to happen, or something here to happen, so that my book could be the bestseller that I asked God for. And it has to be in alignment with the stars, and that's God's time, right? Everything is about God's time, but it is also when it is best, not only for me, but for everybody, when these things happen. But if you find that you're not getting stuff done that you need to get done, then it's time to talk to God about it, or universe about it, so you can get the solutions and the ways to do things to change all of this. Okay. So Danielle, that's your answer. And there you go. All right. So who's next?
Trey Ryder. He's wondering what the year has in store for him and how he could best serve others this year.
All right. That's cool, Trey. Let's see. What's the God's honest truth? What is in store for him? I don't know if you're thinking about a long trip like my daughter Sophia. She's thinking about she's planning a trip to Hawaii. So Hawaii does come in for you. I don't know if you have anything big like this planned. There's something about this for you that comes in with the work that you do. That your soul is calling in. Feels like a lot of Sag energy. If you can send Jen, or you can post it if you're comfortable, your birth date and your time and your place, and we can just put it all together. I feel like you have some pretty big prominent Sagittarian energy in your charts. I feel like you may end up taking your people, or start to take them all over the world in the future, not just this year. I feel like my daughter in this time frame right now, she's going to explore far away, distant places in America, and places where you don't have to have shots, and you don't have to, do these COVID rules that they have going on. So I feel like you'll be starting with that this year, traveling further out, doing further different things. But I also feel like there's something about you exploring different cultures and different worlds and different realities. And this is about that Sagittarian energy as well, and planning different things with the work that you already do into the future. I feel like it'll be after the mandates, because everything that is God and everything that is love energy is always changing, right? And the cool thing about these changes is that this too shall pass. Thank God for that, right? So, and or where there's a will, there's a way. Where there is God, there's a way, right? So there'll be a whole black market for COVID-19 passports, cards, all this shit if it isn't already out there, and I believe it already is. You know what I mean? Because universe, all that is love, that is God, provides a way for anything and everything from love, right? And so there'll be avenues for everything. I'm not saying that you should do the black market thing. However, I feel like things will change by the time it is time, and it'll be in alignment with the stars so that you can travel all over the country and all over the world and make these plans. Like, I see Singapore, I see China, I see Japan, I see, they're telling me Celtic, so they're telling me something about runes. Exploring runes, Celtic in Ireland for you. And it's neat because I feel like, again, it's about opening up different doorways and the work that you're doing in a different way for people in Earthworld, and to experience all there is to experience and live in the world and truly live and truly experience, from everything from tasting different foods to, exploring like underground caves or toxic graveyards or, taboo belief systems on some fucking Haitian island, or, when I say fucking, it's not a negative thing. It's just some wild island out there, so, and places that nobody knows about, or haunted places, or as well as beautiful scenery. I feel like you're going to go in lots of different directions with this. It's going to open up, expand, but it is also going to be a humanitarian mission as well, because this is about bringing people to different cultures, different ways, bringing people together from love, right? And you do the same work I do, just in a different way, in your own special, unique, amazing way, and we're all part of that same team. So these are the things that are coming for you. I feel like in the next 2 to 3 years, this stuff too shall pass. Again, there'll be, as the collective unfolds, and the toxic and the wellness and the energies that are shifting in, that we're feeling, that feels like a lot of the schizophrenic energy that has been coming in, not just because people are releasing it, this toxic energies, right, from the deepest, darkest depths of our souls, the things that don't make us whole in our hearts. There's a lot of releasing of that energy, but this energy in the world is very chaotic, and it has that Pisces, Neptune, insanity stuff going on, where people say those crazy things and things come out of people's mouth, and you're like, you can't believe that they said this, and how could they ever believe this when you thought they were somebody completely different? And these are those times, right? And you have to be so careful. So this careful meaning wise. Know who your friends are, know who you can truly trust, because those are the people who are going to be there for you through thick and thin. They've already got a track record with you. Every now and then, though, you'll learn something new as your delusions erase, or your delusions clear, heal, and change, and your illusions of what you thought was or what you thought should be are eradicated. Universe with your soul will bring in the truth of God or love as you move truly into all your heart space for the planet, because this energy comes in through within us, right? Because the darkness thinks that the change is going to come from out here by forcing people to do things. The change is in here, people. You can't fucking beat God. And that's my favorite. That's like my favorite thing about God, is it's such a powerful, amazing energy, right? Right? And that's why I say to people all the time, like with witchcraft and spells and darkness and all this toxic stuff, right? Power of love is the most powerful magic that is, right? So why wouldn't you want to be that? Why wouldn't you want to do that, right? To me, it's a fucking no-brainer, right? So that said, Trey, you got this. I see amazing things happening for you. Positive, healthy, amazing things coming in. Anything else for Trey? No. You're going to just expand in all these directions. You're here to teach love. You're here to bring people together, and doing so with different foods, different cultures. Because if we bring people together, then there's not a strangeness in the foods that we eat, or an oddness, or a feeling odd man out, or we don't feel comfortable and we don't feel in. And this is about uniting the world of humanity, society, the collective in a heart space. Really cool shit. This is massive humanitarian work. I'm excited for you. I'm like, I want to go. So I'll have to check it out as time goes. So thanks. And thanks for the work you do, man. Thank you. All right. Who's next? What time is it?
8:30.
All right. Keeping an eye on the time.
Lavette Hollingsworth is asking for a $5 for her granddaughter, Autumn. She said her birthday, so is 10/15/09. And she says, thank you.
I'm still getting yogurt all over the fucking place. They're to tell me I really need to not be drinking it, is what I feel this is. Bathing in it, maybe, right? Just joking. All right. Let's see. So autumn 10-5 is what they said?
Hang on.
She said 10-5, 89?
10-15.
10-15? 09?
2009.
Okay. All right, clarifying what was said. So 10-15-09. My one daughter has a friend from years ago. They used to be best friends, and her name, I think it was Michaela. So she comes in with this energy. So your daughter has a lot of energy like this girl. So she has a lot of Aquarian energy running in her. That makes her always constantly thinking in her head. She's Aquarian is also a higher knowing, a higher octave, a humanitarian thing. It's about relationships, but in many ways it's also about disconnects. So there's definitely some challenges here for autumn. What I love about autumn, the name autumn, is that it's the fall. It's my favorite time of year, and it's so beautiful, and it's like oranges and reds and yellows, and it's fire energy. And what is fire energy? Passion. So your daughter has a lot of passion, and with that passion, she also has a lot of rage, right? So there's a lot of healing work to be done there as well. She's a very beautiful, complex soul. What I like also about the fall is that she will reap the harvest, right? Having a name like autumn reaps the harvest, okay? Fall is harvest season. So she has the potential to have great abundance, especially if she heals these things in her. She came in with that, as that is the first part of her name in her life, in this life here. What is her, can you tell me her full name, if she has her full name, because we'll elaborate more on this and give you more wisdom in terms of the energy that is her in her name as well. October is Libra. So you have one of the biggest cores about Libra is everybody says Libra is about love, right? But what they forget is Libra is also about relationships. And Libra is about the main number one core relationship that Libra is about is self-love, right? So your daughter has some challenges in this area. Just like me, I'm a Libra Scorpio. And Scorpio is about getting to the bottom of the truth of this. I'm a cusp baby. And your daughter is almost that as well. Oh, hold on, Rachel's saying you must be saying something. Hold on.
She sent her, I believe it's the granddaughter's middle name. It's Autumn Renee.
That's funny shit. Her middle name is Renee, Lynn Rene MacDonald. So that tells me, right, she's very much like me, right? And then she's that October baby, right? So there's a self-love void in there. I understand that as well. We all do, right? We all have some variation of work to do on our first, second, and third houses in astrology, and that's the main core of who we are. There's no us, there is no life. There is no dreams. There is no happiness if we're not in our healthiest, best space. So Libra is about love. It's about relationships, right? And it is about self-love. And that's what everybody misses. They think it's about having a lover and having many lovers. Well, the irony here, it's like a juxtaposition that universe shows me in the energy, right? When you have a Libra energy, many times, and this is why Libras and Leos are some of the most beautiful, physical-looking people in the zodiac. You'll see, like the Kardashians have like this. Not all of them are Leo and Libra, but they will have these placements somewhere in their chart, right? Now, when I say beautiful, I mean like physically beautiful. I'm not talking about when they did all this disgusting shit to their bodies that'll go to on another day, right? about why I think that is disgusting shit. Okay, it's because it is toxic, and that's the best word to describe the energy when we mess with our bodies because we feel that we need to do this in our physical bodies because we don't like something about ourselves, when really the deficit is in here, right? And we'll go into a whole other episode or a whole nother time frame. I don't want to waste a lot of time on your reading about the Kardashians or the plastic surgery and why people do those things, because ultimately, in a nutshell, they do these things because they're sick. Right? This is also why we have all these different variations of asexual, bisexual, all these different sexual things that become people's identity that are not truth of God of love, right? And it is about an unwellness in the soul that manifests in these crazy, bizarre ways because it's not truth of love in the healthiest, best way from the highest form of love. It doesn't mean that being bisexual or gay or a lesbian is bad or toxic. There's healthy anything. But when you have variations of super fucking bizarre, like filling your ass up with whatever surgical toxic so your ass can be gigantic and your waist can be this thin, you have to say to yourself, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is truth of God. Because in here, there's some psychological crap going on in your soul, right? Because this is truth of God. This is what I do, man. So when people do all this weirdo sexual shit and they say, I'm a fawn and I'm like this or all kinds of weird stuff, and everything, and true with heterosexuals as well, right? From sadomasochism to just bizarre sexual shit, you have to say to yourself, why is it that I do what I do? Is this really the healthiest, best way for me? Is this really coming and feeling from the highest form of love and in our hearts? You got to take a look at that, because this is telling you. All right. And sometimes it's very painful and you don't want to address it. This is telling you where your voids are. Truth of God or love, right? There is healthy in everything. And the majority of the time, all these things that I'm talking about here are just not truth of love in its purest form of the healthiest them in whatever sexual identity they are in or however they manifest this energy. Just like addicts, right? Tells me this person is some form of broken or some form of toxic or some form of unwell that isn't necessarily helping them or coming from the best and purest place of love, right? By how it feels, right? If I say, oh, what Kim Kardashian does to her butt is disgusting, well, there's a reason I say that, right? How much is enough, right? You have to say there's so many different toxic things going on in there with her, in here, that makes her feel like somehow she has to have a big fat ass to be beautiful, to be sexual, to be all the deficits in her soul that she can't be because somehow she believes she has a problem, right? And it physically, literally manifests in her ass. And so she works on her ass to change these things. You have to say to yourself, what the fuck? Do you see what I'm saying? So that said, we can go more in depth to this, but I just want to give you guys a clue or guidance from higher knowing of how these things really work. It doesn't mean everybody on the planet should be heterosexual, and it doesn't mean that everybody shouldn't have plastic surgery or do certain things to their body. Everybody has different journeys for different reasons, and she does too. But at the vibration that she's in and the vibration that I'm in, right, doesn't mean that one is better from the other or one is better than the other. I teach love in the highest form. This is what I know to be truth of God or love. What Kim Kardashian's truth is may be something completely different, right? But now that we've gone into this direction, I'm going to bring us back to where we were, because this goes back to your daughter with this Libra energy, right? She is a very beautiful girl. And Kim Kardashian, if you look at her when she's younger and she's natural and she's in purity of God, my God, she's so beautiful. In fact, she's the most beautiful out of all of them, physically, right? So she had some kind of beautifulness that she came in here, and it's in the Libra stuff. I feel like she also has Leo placements, right? But why would that be? Because the most physically attractive people are designed that way because they cannot see how beautiful they are within themselves. That's all self-love deficits, right? So your daughter has some big challenges, as do I, right? And me having Libra Scorpio, this is great, right? Scorpio gets to the bottom of the pot, and it's all about transformation, right? Transformation, right? So I came in to heal this self-love space in me, come hell or high water, in the deepest, darkest bottom of the sea, emotional sea, right? In astrology, that's Scorpio, that's Pluto, right? Your master transformation planet and sign in astrology. So I totally get her, right? And all of us have variations of all this, what I'm talking about is going on here, right? And just like anything I say here, you don't believe in your heart, ask God what the truth is. Ask God to elaborate on it. Ask me, ask universe through me, right? They'll tell you. They'll tell you the God's honest truth, right? And, and then people say, well, you're a hater of this and a hater of that, or you can't stand gays and you can't stand that. Not truth. not truth. I know what is truth of God, of love, because that's what I came in here to do. That's what I teach. That's what I do, right? And I'm not trying to beat on Kim Kardashian. It's her fucking journey. My job is to use this as an example in Earth World of the toxics and how they manifest, right? When we don't have a positive self-love place in us in some way, shape, or form. And this is just another manifestation of this. But part of her stuff is somewhere in her, she's got to have, right? The majority, now there's exceptions to every rule, right? Sometimes newer souls and souls come in just to experience these things, right? As the experience itself. Why? All right, and this is all part of that, so they can understand what it's like to be in this space, to have infinite amounts of money, to be able to tear up your body in any way that you want. Not unlike Angelina Jolie, where she removes half of her body parts because she's terrified of getting cancer. What the fuck? And the more she does that, the more she's most likely going to get cancer, because all of this is from fear. But this is all people's unwellnesses. And when you're in a Hollywood space, right, you're delusional to begin with in some way, shape, or form, right? Because you have this idea that I'm famous and I'm amazing, you know. And while this can be true in many ways, right, but it is not, it's usually in a toxic ego space, right? And they do crazy things. They have a lot of money that enables them to do toxic things, right? You know, and this is how these things end up working out so bizarrely, but they come in here to have these experiences. And this isn't, you know, me saying this person is bad. I'm just showing you the truth of God, because that's what I came in here to teach, right? So, and we'll get into this more in future episodes as well. Your daughter has the propensity to have massive wealth, which is why we talked about these people like Kim Kardashian and all these things, because she does have the propensity to have massive wealth. She is extremely beautiful, right? But that's because there's such a massive void in her soul that she can't love herself. And everybody will love how she looks, and everybody will love her. But this is about her loving her in the healthiest, best way in its entirety. And so more often than not, you will see the most beautiful people in the world, gorgeous, stunning people, and they'll have Libra and Leo placements, right? Physically beautiful, right? But they'll be so unwell inside. And when I say fucked up, that just means unwell, some kind of unwell, right? And that's what that means. And that just means there's work to do there. So that said, your daughter has great challenges ahead. She's really brilliant. She's beautiful. Does she have kids yet? Because I feel like she'll have 2 to 3 kids into the future. Is she 26? 23, 26, this is the age that comes in for her. So she may be that mentally, she may physically be that, but those are some ages that come in for her. They're telling me wealth will manifest for her. There's a great possibility of wealth manifesting for her in this space. Did she get it? If she is older than this, then she may have already gotten some wealth.
She's 12.
With this. Okay, so this is coming for her in the future, because she feels, the reason I'm getting 23, 26, 2, is because she feels way older than she is. She's a super mature, very, very, very old soul. So I feel 23, 26 is when this is going to come in. I feel like there's something about her doing modeling, being in the fashion industry, possibly being a designer, things that are going to hook up, but these are going to be healing clothes. She's a super powerful metaphysical child, right? Like all these new age souls are coming in and it's like, boom, they're going to blow the doors off of everything in this reality with their gifts, but they can't do it to its full capacity in the healthiest, best way from love if they don't make the internal changes. So, but it's not like you have to do all this now and then you can be this. No, it's a journey. So the more you do it, the more in line you are, and Capricorn rewards those gifts, rewards those things, right? So there'll be beautiful things coming in, but there will be challenges. I mean, that's the nature of these times right here, right now in Earth world. Absolutely, you know. And we're all, I don't care who you are, we're all going through it, whether it's mentally with depression or addiction, or physically, or, you know, jobs, or homeless, or sickness, or, you know, whatever it is, right? And as well as the collective is mirroring that to all of us. So there's massive internal Plutonian and you know, Scorpionic transformation, as well as out here in the collective, that transformation of the self. Your daughter also has the propensity to do many different things and be not unlike Walter Russell, and I've mentioned him before, be a great artist, a great writer. She's the propensity to be a model and a fashion designer. I feel like she's going to come in and talk high end to God. High end God, or love, and she's going to really be in those spaces. But you can't really truly be in that space because you don't get anything for free here in Earthworld without doing the work, whether it's the physical Earthworld work, right, like studying and going to school or getting a degree. If you need to have that, your soul will guide you to that, and you will have those things. But it is also the work that is in here, because it is your soul that governs your reality. It is your soul that brings everything to you. Just like with this COVID-19, people say to me, oh, well, your kids need to finish school and this isn't done, and people haven't finished school and they're not going to college because they don't want to get the shot. Everything God will bring you. It doesn't matter about Earthworld timelines. Follow your heart, listen to God. If you're not supposed to go to college because you don't want to get the shot and you don't want to get vaccinated, or you don't want to, get, what do they call it, the testing to have COVID and all that crap that they're fucking poisoning us with, right? You listen to your heart. I told my kids, I said, yep, these things are going to be on hold for now. Why? Because we need to make sure that you are healthy and well, because 3 years from now, if you finish college and you've had like a whole row or 37 COVID-19 shots, you don't have much of a life yet, if any, right? Because the odds are you will be very, very sick into the future with severe autoimmune sickness, as well as, if not die before then, right? I mean, this is the grand plan of the design of this stuff, so there's a propensity for that to happen, right? So when your soul says don't send your kids to school, or don't do this or don't do that, you listen to it, because your soul will bring you the education and everything you need. It's about you getting your head out of your ass about Earthworld beliefs, because we are writing two different timelines here. Earthworld belief systems and the new metaphysical Earthworld, right? And the key here is to stay on that path, the edge of both of these realities, and do as things come along, and your soul and God will guide you, especially if you work with God or talk to God all the time, right? So that said, don't worry about her school and her things, and if she did get the shot, there's ways to change that. I don't advocate for children at all. I don't advocate for the shot at all, quite honestly, for those of you who want to know. I know that with the power of God, you can do anything, and that there is a whole different world over here that is of the old ways, but that have become grossly toxic because the darkness has taken over the planet, and now we are riding a timeline into the new world, and that's why these waves of love energy are coming in, because great things are coming. So your soul will lead you to whatever destiny you need to go to. Because people say to me, well, I wanted to go to Greece with my boyfriend, so I got the shot, right? No, you don't sacrifice your health for a boyfriend so you can fucking go to Greece. Are you fucking nuts? Really? Honest to God. And the same thing with college. Oh, but they won't let me get in med school. Fuck your med school, right? Write a note, fight it till the end, right? In Earth World, if you feel you need to do that from God, but you never sacrifice your health, your best well-being for anything. And these are lessons for these souls, journeys for these souls that they called in, right? So that they can heal themselves into the future, right? As well as exit the planet if they can't do the work here. So I'm telling you that her soul will lead her to everything she needs, whether it's school or not. Look at Steve Jobs. He's a perfect example, who's somebody who didn't have that education and made the fucking iPhone, right? The computer stuff. Pixar, I think, was him, right? I mean, think about these things. He did incredible things without your college education that they're trying to sell you here in Earthworld, and then they want you to mortgage your fucking house and everything you have so you can send your kid to $200,000 school, and then your kid sits in your house for the next 6 years, doesn't have a job because there's nothing fucking out here. Right? I mean, these are the kinds of scenarios that have happened in the past, because it's not truth of God or love. Let your soul lead you to your destiny, just like Steve Jobs. It will. You don't have to have an education, but if your soul leads you to that, you will. But it doesn't mean you make a sacrifice of your health ever. Makes me fucking crazy, right? Because if you don't have your health, man, you got nothing. Yeah, I'm experiencing that firsthand, man. When I can't get up, I can't move, I can't walk, and I have to ask people to go get me shit here in Earthworld. And I'm in fucking incredible amounts of pain. from mold sickness that is manifested in autoimmune disease as I'm working on these things, right? So why would I ever? Anytime I was ever sick, I was miserable. You can't really live if you're sick. There's no living when you're sick, right? Right? We've all had the flu and been down for the count for days, right? Yeah. So your daughter's soul is going to lead her to wherever she needs to go, and she's going to be fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. She comes in with 1,000,001 gifts, a whole great destiny, right? And all these things come in for everybody here, guided by spirit, because these are all questions in some way, shape, or form in your soul you were wondering, you were asking, and the answers come from God or universe or love through me. That's how it works. You ask and you shall receive, and they either come through me on the show, or they come through your reality, or they come from a friend, or you hear them in your heart, but you know if they're truth of love and God by how it feels in your heart. Right? All right. So that said, who's next, or are we done for tonight?
It's 8:52, so we have a little bit left.
Okay.
I just want to say,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lavette said you're on fire and you're 100% correct.
Oh, God bless you and thank you, Lavette. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. And my job isn't to offend people. My job here is to tell you the truth of love so you can live your greatest lives. Because if you're living a lie or anything less than the God's honest truth, it fucks you up somewhere in your life. And you have to live in truth of God or love so you can be your greatest you, man. So thank you, Lavette, for the awesome words, kind words. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so who's next?
Nikki.
Nikki Opper?
Yes.
All right. Hi, Nikki Opper.
She's asking for help.
Hi, Nicholas. Hi, Evie. I know you guys are all there. So go ahead.
She's asking for help in regards to her health. She said she's been super tired as of late, and she fell last week and is having a hard time healing from that.
Yeah. All right, God, what's the God's honest truth with Nikki? Nikki, we talked about you and Nicholas and your daughter coming down here to do some energy work from past lives. We were going to do it on the couch in the main center, right? And this is coming in as being associated with this. It's about not moving forward metaphysically and being tied up physically in earth world. In other words, not unlike me with my health ailments that I'm having, right? I'm doing the metaphysical work, right? I'm doing the metaphysical work, but my things aren't completely healed yet, and it takes time. Everything is in God's time, and the more I work on it, and the more I hit the exact notes and things that need to be hit and changed and created and prayed upon and worked on energetically from love with God, the more I will heal myself, right? And I am healing, and I feel that I'm healing, right? And you are too. I do feel right now you're like in a vortex, is what they're telling me, a vortex of like, a lot of us are in these vortexes of holding patterns, right? As we're doing the work, and then we get like in these spaces, it's like hurry up and wait. A lot of this is, some of it's waiting for the collective, what's going to happen in the collective, other triggers or other things over here to see which direction we're going to go in. But in this particular case, this is like a healing vortex. In other words, this is about you not being able to move truly forward until you hit these notes or hit these things, these energies in your soul and release them. That's why you guys are coming down to do the energy work, and it's all intertwined from that really big lifetime that we talked about in the 1800s that you had with you and Nicholas and Evie. That was really a very traumatic experience. So this is the energy work from that, and then doing the astrological placements to pull all of this as well. And anything and everything God associated with all this that behooves us to change. Okay, that said, that's why this is coming in. Tangerine essential oil is coming in for you to get some energy, but also with these energies of the sporadic energy and everything we're going through, we're not getting enough sleep. So you're not getting enough sleep. I think I haven't really slept fully in 3 days, and I've been like a cranky bitch. I'm like, they came here today, right? And I did an energy session with Laura, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like ornery is the word for it. And of course I had to pray to do the show, because I'm like, oh yeah, I can't be like this at the show. I'm like, I can't do that. Right? So I'm like, clear this, God, heal this, change this. Thanks for the best show, the best of everything I need. And that's what we do all the time from love, right? So This said, there's tools that you can use to help you in Earthworld, because I know that next weekend I believe that you're coming here as well to do this, and I know it's going to be like super profound. And we're going to do these things, things meaning this energy work. And that's, I feel like it's almost like they're showing me God picking you up with hands, shaking you guys, and putting you back down on solid ground. And like, you know how like a dog shakes the water off of them or the fleas, that kind of thing. You're going to be getting rid of so much stuff with this, and this will release you from this energy. However, there are Earthworld tools that you can do, and you keep on praying on it in the meantime now, because that goes to the work of helping you now, all right? Be in a different space, as well as some of the holistic tools that you already know about, vitamins, minerals, herbs, diet, right? They're also telling me you've been eating like stuff that maybe you shouldn't be eating, and you know what I'm talking about, you know, like pastas and toxic stuff more so than often as of late, and that's not helping you either. So there's several things going on here, but keep praying on everything, right? Do that, because prayer is energy work. It creates and manifests in your reality, as well as changes things. Anything that you want, you give it to God. Ask and you shall receive. This is why this is so profound, as well as it's the answers to anything and everything that is. So the more you do this, Nikki, the more you raise your vibration, the better you feel, the more these things will go away, right? But it is something that you have to do, just like we all have to do, but you can also balance it with Earthworld tools here. So you can also get yourself some physical relief right away. Like we talk about the cell salts, right? 6, 3, and 2 are coming in for you really, really big right now. 6, 3, and 2, and 9. All right. And and every now and then you have to change up and work with different things depending on what's going on for you. So those come in for you. And where would those clearings be? Right? 6th house, 3rd house, 2nd house, and 9th house, because the salts correlate with astrology. Wicked cool shit, right? Incredible stuff. Incredible. All right, so look into those houses and all the aspects you have in there in your natal chart, and start there, and then we can go from there. Because this is that energy that you're experiencing comes from these houses, and the salts help with the deficits that you have in you. All right, so do the spiritual work, change the diet some or modify it some. Universe gets that we all want to live, right? But it's a balance. It's a balance, right? All because I can have 3 yogurt drinks a day doesn't mean I should, right? So I have to balance, right? And I have to make sure I eat enough fruits and vegetables, especially fruit, because fruit are your antioxidants that are going to get rid of the free, what is it? What do they call those? Free radicals and toxins. Thank you. I love that I can always count on you for that. You're so great. You really are. Just saying. Anyway, so Steve was helping me with the super intellectual gifts that he has for healing. Incredible stuff. Thank you. Okay. That said, these tools that I'm giving you now should help you immensely, but they're also telling me you need a lot more sleep, and you need to drink a lot more water, like alkaline water. I don't know how much you're drinking, but definitely more water for healing, and take care of you. You're super, super stressed now. You're going through a lot of stress with everything. They're telling me you're going to be fine. Just keep praying for it. The vibrations will change. This stuff will help to change that right away if you do all these things, as well as the majority of this, the rock of the core of all this, is going to be lifted when you do the energy work. And it doesn't mean you have to come here and do it with me. We've already talked about this. This is who you choose, and that's wonderful. And we love you equally as much, and are going to do our greatest job for you with God and love, right? But you don't have to come to us for healing. You can go anywhere that your heart calls you, and your healthy heart calls you. Okay. All right. And that's for all you guys. You go where your heart leads you for your greatest healing, your greatest gifts, your greatest teachers, your greatest tools, your greatest everything, God, that you need from love. You feel it in your heart, and you ask and you shall receive, because what's good for Jennifer may not be good for Rachel, may not be good for me or Steve, right? Because that's what makes us so unique and special. All right. That said, so there you go, Nikki. And I think we're pretty much time to wrap it up for tonight, right? Thank you, everybody, for coming. We're going to do our Friday show, 7:15 Friday nights, 6 and 12 Medical Intuitive. On that show, we answer questions of all that has to do with health that is guided by God, love, higher power, knowing, angels, and God Astrology. So that's Friday night, 7:15. We usually run it about an hour, but sometimes it goes over because, maybe we get in the zone, right? So that's next Friday or this coming Friday. If you guys want to come, we'd love it. If you can support our work, please do. Donate to what we do. You can send checks to our shopping center. I think we do Venmo and PayPal. Rachel usually posts the links. Also, if you can share our stuff and tell people about what we do, great, because this is a great way to change the world to love and give people easy, simple tools and understanding that they just don't teach you out here while we're riding the line between two worlds. Great gifts and tools, and it helps us keep doing what we are doing as well, and all of us to change the world from love. So, and then next Sunday again, 7:15, live talk forum here with me. You can come in person to all of our shows as well. And we possibly have 2 more shows. They're kind of like cooking in the oven. And God is bringing us to those in due time. What do they say? God's time. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Love you guys. Many blessings. And see you next